Hello good people, it's me David. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. So let's just go through the AI agent that can be built for your business. But we're going to go through it step by step in a series of videos. Now, Australian businesses, unfortunately, are falling behind in regards to efficiency and productivity, and that's actually noted. Some businesses are great, and some businesses are really still, paper and pen type businesses. And to be honest with you, it's not a problem if you've been around for 50 years and you have a phenomenal customer base and you don't need any new customers, and you're not really competing in some industries. But for many businesses, it's going to get tougher and tougher. And it's actually not about sometimes having the best price. It is sometimes about getting the connection, being efficient with connecting to the clients. Let me explain what I mean. Most businesses, 9 to 5, right? Now, what happens when someone goes and views your website, or maybe your Google business profile or your Facebook page at 7 p.m? They have a specific question about if you do something. But they don't get any reply at 7 p.m. because it's past the work hours, right? Why don't you have the ability to communicate back to them with some standard information that you would give anybody who calls for the first time, or sends a message or an email to your business for the first time? Now, it doesn't have to be specific, but it may be for a motor mechanic. Someone might call and say, have a Toyota Corolla, year 2012 model. Just feel the brakes are a little bit soft. Now, you might be a general motor mechanic workshop and work on multiple car makes and models. But maybe 3 months ago you've worked on a Toyota Corolla and replaced the front brakes. So why don't you have somebody contacts at 7:30 p.m. through the Google business profile, because maybe you've put together the booking option on your Google business profile, which immediately makes your business get boosted in the algorithm. And unfortunately for many Australian businesses, they're just not aware of that. And if you have any questions about that, I'll show you how to do it. But imagine you can say, yes, we've worked on a Toyota Corolla, the exact same model as yours, just a couple of months ago. This is what was required. Do you want the mechanic to give you a call back at 9 a.m. in the morning tomorrow? And maybe you can just get in. We can just check them out for you. Well, you probably just made an extra couple of $100 by really just setting up an AI agent to answer some very basic questions. Now, I can give you some living examples of people telling me that they've went from, $1,000 a week business, $1,500 a week business, to double it in 3 months because of this simple ability to connect with customers. But it's just happening all over the world now. It is something that Australian businesses have to start getting their heads around, because I'm going to just say it. I have heard from somebody who, with the biggest e-commerce website in the world, sells the most things by a long shot. They're looking to introduce, we have Uber Eats, isn't it? And Uber, like an Uber taxi service. Now, as you know, the people who do Uber Eats, some of the lowest paid people in Australia, because Uber can get away with unscrupulous business acts and conditions for their contractors. That's how they get around it, and that's why we have people who are on Uber Eats who are homeless. I've met them. But the world's largest e-commerce site is looking to get involved with trades. So what does that mean for people who are not able to grasp the digital world right now, who aren't willing to change? They're going to have a big shock next year when suddenly the price for disc brake exchange goes from $400 in service fees, which is a very reasonable price when you think about it, to $200. What do you think is going to happen in the marketplace? Where are customers going to go? You might think they're loyal now, but price is price. And if you don't think it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And they're going to introduce a bidding system. So you can bid for these contracts, but it's not going to be no longer a good price. It's going to be based on quantity, not on quality. And this may take effect, and it may really cause a big problem for Australian businesses, because the cost of living in Australia is extreme. It's it has the highest cost of living currently in the world, or close to it. Prices are going to drop. And the reason is that these larger corporations are able to spend $20 million on AI infrastructure to make it happen. But what might be good for Australian businesses is to be able to develop their own AI agents so that people can instantly get some basic information, not intricate, detailed information that can happen on human contact, face-to-face contact, or even telephone contact, and a little bit of a deep thinking about the query the customer has. Well, what can happen is that at least they've got some instant response. There's an appointment booking system, maybe just an email to say that a service person will call between 9 and 9:30, or is 9:30 to 10 a.m. good for you? And you also have the detailed information about the customer's query, makes, models, product numbers, any previous service numbers, etc., etc. So you're able to research the question before calling back, have a very professional response. This is going to work because people are going to want that instant course of action, and an AI agent can do that. This is really the time to start thinking about it. Because if you don't, someone else will, and they'll take the marketplace, as has always been the case in human history. And we've seen this across the board, and it's very important for Australian businesses to stay on top and to stay open, because we're no longer living in the 20th century, it's the 21st century, and things are changing. And just remember, AI agents are not about replacing people, they're about creating efficiencies and productivity to stay on top of the game. So these next series of videos are going to be about the incremental steps you can take to at least start the process, because at some point you're going to have to do it. Sorry, it's just what's happening. Everywhere you go now, they're doing it. The bigger companies are spending 10, 20, 30 million dollars on it. And what do you think that means for the little guy? You're not going to be able to compete. So next series of videos are going to be about little incremental steps you can take to stay on top of the game at a cost that makes it so sensible to introduce that any business can do it. Even Uber Eats riders, they can start taking work on the side that pays 3 to 4 times more than Uber Eats, which I've already started for some drivers and riders, motorcycle rider guys, okay, and with the courier service as well. So watch these series of videos. Hopefully they'll make sense to you. If they don't, send a message. I'd love to hear from you. So let's stay on top of things and get things working for Australia and for Australian small businesses. Okay, good people, have a nice day and watch the other videos. Bye-bye.